I'm John Baird. I was in the Peace Corps in Niger, West Africa from 1968 to 71. I was located in near Maradi, Niger, in the village of Chadakori. One memory, one evening in my village, like at 9:30 at night, suddenly across the square of the village there was crying, women crying and wailing, and it just impacted me. I didn't know what was going on. It turns out that a young woman, about 14 years old, had just been married, and the women traditionally weep when they lose their, and the women and the girls' friends, they weep because now she's going to her husband's compound and they're losing a friend, so to speak.
Fantastic. First time.
My name is Bill Miles. I was a volunteer with the Peace Corps in Niger between 1977 and 1979. My program was teaching English as a foreign language, and a number of us volunteers who were in that program always wondered, what good is it to be teaching English in a French-speaking country and educational system where the kids first had to learn French after learning their village African language. Anyway, about 6 months ago, I got a phone call from somebody in Washington. And he asked me if I was the same Mailu, and he was using the African name that my students gave me, who had taught Niger in the 1970s. I said, yes. And he said, I don't know if you remember me, but my name is Bra Sanusi, and I was your student then. And I now work for the World Bank. And it's only because of the English that I learned in your class that I got to be working for the World Bank, where I am today. So it only took 30 years, but after 30 years, I got the proof that what we were doing actually had a long-term but very significant payoff.
I'm Jeff Towner, and I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Niger from 1977 to 1979. And I was a park biologist. I worked in the National Park of Niger. It's in English called W National Park in the southern part of the country. When I was in Cameroon, I acquired an African gray parrot as a pet. And I had him while I was in Cameroon, and then when I extended service and went to Niger, I took him with me. And African gray parrots are probably the best mimics of any parrot species. And they can imitate any human voice in different words. And I taught him the word for hello in the local language, the Zarma language, which is fofo. And so he would say that from time to time, fofo. And I used to take him out of his cage. I clipped his wings so he couldn't fly away, and I'd take him out of his cage and put him in a tree in my backyard so he can climb around and nip off leaves and just amuse himself back there and get exercise. And one day I was sitting on my porch doing some reading, and two local ladies came over, and they wanted to see the parrot. They had heard that he talked, and I don't think they quite believed it. So they came into the yard. I took him around to the back. I held my finger up in the tree, and he climbed down and got on my finger, and I brought him down, and the first thing he said was "fofo" in their language, and they just left immediately. I think they were shocked and amazed that a bird could speak their language.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
died last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How many years has it been there?
Did you have him here?
Yeah, we had him here. We had him everywhere that we've lived. I had him for 36 years.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
I'm Amy Fitzpatrick O'Neill. I was Amy Fitzpatrick in the Peace Corps in Niger, 1979 to 1981. I was a nutritionist in the town of Tawa.
All right. My name is Marianne Weeks. At the time I was in Peace Corps, I was Marianne Shepherd, and I was in the Republic du Niger from 1981 to 83. I served as a librarian for the Projet Gestion des Pâturages et Élevages au Niger, which was a livestock research project funded by AID to study nomadic herding in the Sahel. I remember when I first arrived, we had 1 week in training with our large group, but then the people working for the livestock project needed to go out on Bruce because it was the rainy season. The rainy season is very short, so we didn't have much time. Anyway, so we had practically no local language at that point. Hausa was what we were learning. And so we went out and we stayed with a nomadic group. And can you imagine 1 week into the country, and then you're out on Bruce in the middle of nowhere in the Sahel, and it was the most amazing experience. And I just, it was just such a total shift from being here in the States and then to seeing how the nomads live. And then I ended up working in a pretty large city, Tawa, where the project headquarters was located.
Great. Well, thank you.
My name is Ken Patterson, and I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Niger from 87 to 90, and then a APCD actually from 92 to 95. And I lived between the villages of Sai and Torodi there in a small village called Urogo. And I feel lucky. I guess I'm still in touch with with Urogo. The people in Urogo. Actually was on the Skype with my chief of the village just yesterday, still speaking for full day, which was pretty amazing that it still comes back to me. And he had called me several days earlier, and we chat every so often. He's got a cell phone. Still no running water, no electricity, nothing in the village, but they have a cell phone. But he called me a couple of days ago, and he said there is hunger in the village right now. If you've heard about the news in the Sahel right now, what's going on, there's a lot of drought there again, and that's a recurrent pattern in the Sahel. And he said there's hunger there right now. And so through another friend, I was able to wire them money to buy 100 kilo sacks of grain essentially for the village. But I'm still in touch with them 25 years later. I'm so thankful for the experience. It's shaped what I do. I work for an organization called Results right now, which is kind of a continuation of my Peace Corps experience. So it totally shaped my life. So,
did you ever go back for a visit?
The last time I was there was 95. And so I'd love to take my daughter there. She's 15 now, and so at some point I'd like to get her back there. The chief is asking me if he'd like me to find her a husband. I said, well, she's not ready yet at 15, and he laughs. Of course, he knows better. But I'd like to get my daughter back there actually. So, but I'm so happy to be able to actually be in communication with them via Skype and stuff like that these days. Technology has really transformed things, so it's quite amazing.
Great. Well, thank you.
Hi, my name is Carla Barbieri. I was in Peace Corps Niger from 1990 to 1992. I worked as a health volunteer in the health clinic.
My name is Alan Reitzel. I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Niger, 1975 to 1977. I was in Filingay and also Abala, and those two towns were northeast of Niamey, about 150 kilometers.
Hi, I'm Becky Raymond. I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Niger from 1978 to 1981. I worked 2 years in Guidon-Rumji as a nutrition educator and in Sai as a nutrition educator for 1 year.
It was an incredible, life-changing experience that I think affects my entire worldview. And I always remember the saying that in the Peace Corps, if you go to Asia, you come back philosophical. If you go to South America, you come back political. And if you go to Africa, you come back laughing.
Thank you.
I'm Barbara Lamus, and I was in Peace Corps Niger from 1990 to 1992, and I was in Zinder as a health and nutrition volunteer, and I really enjoyed it. It was tough, but it was a great assignment, and I'm glad I was there, and I met lifelong friends.
Fantastic.
My name is Crystal Pilon. I was a volunteer in Niger from 2008 to the end of 2009. I was in the Tawa region of Niger, which is, my village was near Birninkoni. And I was a natural resources environment. I was a natural resources management volunteer. I had a pet camel. His name was Buddy. And I went to the animal market 100 kilometers away to get him. You can buy bales of bean leaves like you buy bales of hay. And I fed those to him every day. Every day I took him to the well so he could drink water. And during the hot season, I took him to a special tree so he could sit in the shade. He was a very spoiled camel.
My name is Joel Newberg. I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Niger from 1967 to 1969 around the village of
Sandy Leader. I'm a Peace Corps volunteer in Niger from 67 to 69 in the Ruga of Geshame, the Fulani village.
My name is Mason Holtz. I was first a volunteer in West Africa in Niger, and I was there for 7 months in the Dosso region and learning Hausa as a municipal community development volunteer. And then we were evacuated, tragically, and I started over 27 more months in Costa Rica.